Apocalypse Z is a new Amazon Prime Spanish zombie action movie. In an overcrowded genre, does this film manage to do anything different and stand out above or at least alongside its competitors? Let's find out in my review now. So Apocalypse Z, is Apocalypse Z, whatever you want to call it. This film came out on the 31st of October on Amazon Prime. I've sat on it for some time. I sat down and watched it just this evening. What can I say about it? Well, it's a story about this individual who we are introduced to at the start of the film. We're introduced to him alongside his partner, you know, his wife, and some of his other family members, his sister, his nephew, and a tragedy befalls him in that there's a car accident. His wife dies in it. We then jump forward 1 year. We jump forward 1 year and there's a new outbreak that's on the news, much akin to COVID. COVID is mentioned, and things start getting worse and worse. People fearing another lockdown, this sort of thing. They go to supermarkets, they clear out supermarkets, all this sort of stuff. But what it actually turns out to be is this virus that affects people very quickly, that turns them into basically raging, monstrous individuals. Think zombies. So the military end up clearing everyone out. They want to clear everyone out. Now, luckily for his sister, his sister's husband works for the military, and they're getting carted off to the Canary Islands. And she insists that he comes with them. He does. He attempts to leave to go with them, but the airports get shut down as he's there. Planes all get cancelled and it's gridlock on the roads, and he goes back home and he fortifies his home, and the military all come round to clear out the streets, but he doesn't leave. He's then left alone in his town with his cat looking for food, and he breaks into one of the neighbours' houses, and there's this old lady there who she hasn't gone either, and he befriends her. He helps her out with food, and this leads to some nice interactions and this sort of things. But then things happen and he has to move off. He heads off. He's got a boat. He heads off on his boat because he's trying to get to the Canaries, and he gets stopped by this bigger boat, and lo and behold, you meet these individuals that are a bit untoward, shall we say, who are up to scrupulous things. But he meets this other one individual there who he befriends, who they kind of escape together. And they end up in this hospital, and they meet this girl there who's a nurse who is working there, and this other woman. They've got these 3 kids whose parents have been killed, and they're looking after them. They need to get to this helicopter to escape. And that's pretty much the crux of the film. The film runs for 1 hour and 54 minutes, so just shy of 2 hours. Now, I enjoy the zombie genre. I do get a lot of fun out of it, but I do know that it is well and truly overplayed now. I mean, it's been quite big for some considerable time. You know, the amount of, you know, Walking Dead has been on TV for 15 years, and it was big before that. Goes to show how, you know, how this is going. So, can this do anything new? And the answer to that is no. No, it can't. It doesn't deliver anything new. But what this film does do is it has a very slow start, very slow, somber start, and it actually builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up. And as the film progresses, it introduces you to these characters that are very likeable. You get to know them, you get to like them, get to enjoy spending time with them, and the film ramps up as it goes along. And this is what the film has going for it, is that by the end, I didn't want it to end, but yet about half an hour in, I was thinking, oh, this is a bit of a slog. So this film actually built itself up to, you know, to a nice conclusion. And I say a conclusion, I'll come to that in a minute. But the film ramped up its story. Things got bigger, bigger, bigger as it went on. More and more happened, and you're left with what I can only say is the beginning of a series of film, because obviously this is Apocalypse Z, the beginning of the end, and I'm hoping that this is the beginning, that there are more to come, because that's where this film leaves you. This film leaves you on a precipice. It leaves you on an open-ended story. Yes, this chapter itself, you know, comes to an end, but it sets up something for the future. And I won't go into what happens at the very end, but, you know, it left me thinking, damn, now I want to see another one, because I like these characters. I like the two primary characters here. I like what they've done with these two characters. The other individual that's gone with him, the main adult one, you know, she's you know, you can see something happening there and this sort of thing. And there's the intrigue of what's happening to where they're headed and this sort of a thing. So you got this film, it's well made, it's well directed, you know, it looks good on the screen, it's shot on location, it's got your practical effects makeup for the zombies, there's blood, there's gore, there's that sort of stuff. It ain't overly gory or anything, but it's a whole lot of fun. And like I said, it just builds up. It builds up the tension and the story. It's like a race where you start slow. You just start slow, and then you get faster and faster and faster. And that's exactly what this film done for its story. And it was, in the end, I thought it was a bloody good film. I really enjoyed it. Yes, I did watch it in its original Spanish. I didn't watch a dubbed version or anything like that. If I'm going to watch a foreign film, I'll watch it in its original and read the subs. But yeah, seriously, if you like the zombie genre, I highly recommend watching this film. But just stick with it. It's a slow burn building up to quite a decent climax.